So that story that Kevin Pashby just mentioned in our news there, that campaigners who, despite recent events, want to keep Stafford Hospital open, are now facing legal action for tying blue ribbons around trees in order to show their support. Let's get more on this from Aidan Burley. He's the Conservative MP for Cannock Chase. Many people in the Cannock, Hensford and Rugeley areas in our BBC WM broadcast area use Stafford Hospital as one of their local hospitals. Aidan, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
So just tell us exactly what's going on.
Well, I was passed this email from some very angry and upset members of the Support Stafford Hospital campaign, which of course is a non-political campaign to show support for both Stafford and Cannock Hospital and to oppose the downgrading of A&E. And one of the things they are doing to rally the community is tying blue ribbons around trees and also advertising marches and, in this case, a candlelit vigil at night to support the A&E department, which was attended by over 1,000 local people, mums and dads, children, to support the hospital. And they've now had an astonishing email from a senior officer at the Labour-run Cannock Chase District Council threatening to prosecute the campaigners just for putting up posters advertising this night vigil. And I have to say it's an incredibly hypocritical position. On the one hand, you've got the leader of the council, George Adamson, going on the march to save the hospital. You've got the deputy leader of the council, Yanis Toth, who is also the Labour parliamentary candidate for Cannock Chase, opposing the Tory cuts, as he calls them, threatening to downgrade the hospital, whilst at the same time the council they're running is threatening legal action against those very protesters they are joining on the march.
Well, Aidan, you're trying to turn it into a party political dispute here. I've seen the Guido Fawkes website, which has what purports to be, anyway, an email from Cannock Chase Council. I'll just read it in full. It says, as Cannock Chase Council's planning enforcement officer, I've been asked to contact you, this is written to one of the campaigners, regarding a large number of advertisements which have been attached to the street furniture in the district. The signs advertise an event on Saturday the 18th of May on the A34. I would advise you that these signs are unauthorised under the Town and Country Control of Advertisements Regulations 2007 and should be removed as a matter of urgency. The council does actively prosecute people or businesses in breach of the regulations, and your cooperation in respect of this matter would be appreciated. In addition, please do not breach the regulations in the future.
Well, I mean, the key word in the email you just read out is the first sentence where he says, as Cannock Chase Planning Enforcement Officer, I have been asked to contact you. Well, my question is, who asked him to contact them? I can only assume that it is the leadership of the council, which are the people I mentioned. And I think the point here, this is not about politics. This is about supporting our local hospitals. And Stafford Borough Council have waived these town and country regulations. So there is absolutely no threat to people in Stafford for advertising a candlelit vigil at night or for tying a blue ribbon around a tree. So my question is, why hasn't the leadership of Cannock Council also waived these regulations? Do they not care about the NHS as much as Stafford Borough? Do they not think campaigners should be supported in the same way as campaigners in Stafford? These are the questions the council needs to answer, and I think they also need to answer the question, did they know that this officer was threatening legal action against the Support Stafford Hospital campaign? I simply cannot believe that a senior officer would threaten legal action against such a politically sensitive group without the political leaders of the council being aware of this. So I think they've got some serious questions to answer about who knew about this threat and when.
Yeah, well, you say you can't believe it, but it is quite possible that these potential infringements were drawn to their attention by an ordinary citizen or by a motorist driving along the A34. The truth is we don't know. We will try and put the questions that you have asked to Cannock Chase District Council fairly and squarely. I think they're reasonable questions for you. But, Aidan, look, we can't say, can we, that just because a council supports a political campaign of any sort, that the normal regulations regarding street furniture and putting up billboards can be waived. Surely one rule is there to apply to all people at all times in all situations.
Well, I mean, just to deal with your first point, I think if senior council employees, civil servants, are threatening legal action against campaigners and don't feel they need to inform the political leaders of the council, that shows you that council is out of control. So there are some serious questions about the credibility of
So you're saying
but
that the council's wrong if the senior officers have demanded the enforcement, and they're also wrong if senior officers haven't demanded it and haven't been informed about it.
Well, what they've done at Stafford is that the senior officers of Stafford and the political leaders of Stafford Borough Council have clearly got together and decided to suspend or waive the regulations in Stafford Borough, so that there is absolutely no chance of officers or anyone else threatening to prosecute those ordinary local people who are, attending marches in the tens of thousands to save the A&E department in Stafford. They clearly had the foresight.
But because
and the
it's a
wherewithal
political
to do that.
campaign.
So my question is, why haven't Cannock done the same?
Well, because, Aidan, the suggestion is that these signs breach planning regulations, and that to allow people who are campaigning for something, even if the council leaders believe in it, to allow them to breach the regulations would set a bad precedent.
Well, the precedent's already been set in the sense that Stafford Council clearly feel that saving their hospitals, both Stafford and Cannock Hospital, is important enough to the local communities they serve and represent to suspend these regulations. So are you saying that Cannock Chase Council do not think saving the hospital is important enough to suspend these rather petty and vindictive regulations because they don't think that campaign is justifiable? That is a very big statement to make if they don't think saving the hospital is as important as Stafford people do.
Very interesting stuff. Aidan Burley, thank you. The Cannock